Hello, welcome to ZIM Capture. I'm inventor Dan Zen. Please excuse my grovelly voice, I was out at a punk fest. ZIM at zimjs.com is an open source library to help you code interactive media on the HTML canvas using JavaScript and Create.js. Let's go to the ZIM site now at zimjs.com. You can see we've got a news column, a basics column, and a learn column. And you can swap those columns at any time with a diamond if you wish to reposition them. We'll do a capture on each column. So this capture will be on the basics column. But before we go, just briefly, the news is where you can find updates about ZIM, things that are new. And on the right-hand side, the Learn column is where you can find sample code, YouTube videos, tutorials, etc. But let's pop on back now and take a close look at the Basics column. We can get ZIM and then copy this script tag into the top of our HTML document to begin. We're on ZIM 3.04. And that's hosted on Amazon CloudFront for good speed. It's 96K currently. Or you can use Distill for less. So Distill is featured over on the left-hand side. It's a way that ZIM will analyze which functions and classes you're using in your application, and then it will make a minified version of only those functions and classes for much less. ZIM Try is a feature-rich library for general interactive media on the HTML canvas using JavaScript and Create.js. So we're on version 3 of ZIM. Down below here we have important links to Frame and Docs. Let's click Frame. Frame shows us a bunch of templates that can be made with the ZIM Frame class. So ZIM Frame will automatically make a Create.js canvas, and then it will scale it to fit into these various modes here. For instance, you can give that canvas a width and a height, and it will fit it to your browser window or your mobile screen. Or it can fit outside, or you can just say, hey, make a full screen canvas. It won't have any scaling in that case. You would have to scale within your code, and ZIM provides you ways to scale within code, like a layout classes and fit and scale to, etc. You can also put a ZIM frame within a tag, or you can put it within a tag with specific information, width and height, to keep an aspect ratio. And then you can also create or load assets in ZIM frame. Okay, so let's take a look at the fit. We'll click on that, and here's an example. Do you see how that then fits? It keeps the aspect ratio that you provided, and it fits it to the browser window. We'll F11 and bring that smaller. You can see that happening. F11, back in. At any time as well, you can Control U and see the code. This is the code that is making that template, and so you can right-click and save page as, and then save it as a web page, HTML only, and that can be the document that you would get started. Just change the name of it here, and you have the code to get started. Just briefly, we'll do other captures specifically looking at the code that's in this frame, but just quickly, here it is bringing in the ZIM.js and the Create.js tags. We have the different types of scaling. In this case, we're scaling with fit, 1024 by 768. We make a new frame, pass it in the scaling and the width. When this frame is ready, we can get the stage width, and stage height. Then we've got some sample code just making that little button for us. We centered the button, made it so that we could click and go off back to the ZIM frame site. And a stage.update to see the changes. So in future captures, we'll go through this type of code in detail. And then that's it for the template. All right, there's nothing in the body. ZIM will make the canvas for you, ZIM frame will. All right, any of that information that I was telling you and more is available here in the instructions, the notes, and the advice underneath on the frame page. Next to the frame link is the docs. So we come into the docs, and this will show you all the functions and classes that you can use in ZIM. It starts off with Distill, which is a little bit meta, and how to work Distill. You can open that up and it tells you more information inside, as with any of these. There's ZIM Wrap. ZIM Wrap, just to go quickly through these modules, ZIM Wrap is a series of global functions that help you do things more quickly. So ZOG is like console.log, ZID is like document.getElementById, and so forth. Note the line numbers are here as well, and I believe up top, yes, up top there's a link to the code. So this is the documented code right here, ZIM 304. We press on that and we're right into the real ZIM code. It's about 5,000, 6,000 lines, and those line numbers would match up in your documentation. There's the ZIM code module, which allows you to shuffle and get random numbers, shuffle arrays, get random numbers, do a bunch of things like that. Also some DOM manipulation, setting cookies, etc. The create module is where we really get going. This all works with create.js. So there's one line drag and drop. You can do various types of hit tests, scaling, animating and moving, and placing things and so forth, masks, etc. So that all works with Create.js, as does the build module. The build module, instead of being a bunch of functions, like the create module was, the build module is a bunch of classes where you can make objects from. So you can make circle objects, rectangles, triangles, labels, buttons, checkboxes, radio buttons, panes, waiters, indicators, steppers, sliders, dials, tabs, pads, color pickers, and more. So those are all a series of components, and once again, if you open up any of those, you get a description, what the parameters are, the various methods you have, properties, information, and events, and so forth. The Pages module helps you make a series of pages and go between them, swipe between them if you so desire, hotspots, guides and grids to help you lay out, and a layout class which does responsive design. And ZIM Wonder, which gives you how many, what are they called, stats, I guess, on your application. Finally, there's the ZIM Frame module. You open up that and you can read a lot about what ZIM Frame is doing, including all its properties, methods, and events like ready and complete and resize and so forth. So that's a documentation. We'll spend a whole capture looking through that documentation in more details, but for now we're just introducing the basics column. We saw the frame link and the docs link. Underneath that, there's a drop down that shows you a set of features. For instance, we just kind of went through this, but one line drag and drop, multiple types of hit tests, buttons, panes, tabs, etc. So those are the components. Easy asset loading, page layout and control, mobile optimization, swipes, hotspots, guides, etc. Damping and more. Okay, features. There's also the applications of ZIM, like what can you build with ZIM, mobile apps and sites, e-learning applications, games and puzzles, collages and generative art, simulations and visualizations, interactive logos and infographics, gadgets, tools, configurators, and comics, teaching and learning code, so I teach and learn code with that, parallax and sliding sites, interfaces and components, full screen or embedded, etc. And then examples. Let's take a look at a couple. Here's Vault 7. It's a mobile app that you can use with dials, so you're trying to break through this vault. So we'll set this dial at 1, spoiler, that at 2. We'll bring this down to 1 and 2 like that, and then we'll tap 1 and 2 on the pad. We can go on to the next one and we try and solve this one, etc. with hints and so forth. There's Psychic Pixels. Psychic Pixels is also a mobile app where you try and guess which shape is going to show next, or if you're playing multiplayer, as it says here, here's you guessing what shape is on your device, and here's multi-user where you're trying to guess what the other person is looking at. It was made by Dan Zen. There I am. And so if we start, this was one set. Here's another set. This set I just kind of recently made, so we'll play this set. So we've got a triangle, a stripes, stairs, a zipper, a target, and a tree. Okay. I guess a tree. Ah, it's a zipper, so wrong. I guess a zipper. Oh, it's steps, so wrong. I guess a target. Oh, it's a triangle, so wrong. I guess a triangle. Oh, yeah! I got it right. I guess a target. Oh, stripes, wrong. I guess a target. No, stripes again, I'm wrong. 1 out of 6, that's average. Okay, so that's the idea, and back to psychic pixels. You can create your own and do some drawing. I'm going to make a potion there. That's my potion. Does it look like a potion? Not really. Anyway, you get the idea, and here, draw, who knows what it might be. A spider! Oh, it's a spider! That's what it is. And then when you're done, you can make your own set. Okay, so that's some pixel drawing done with ZIM. This site really features handling multiple pages. You can swipe when you're on mobile and so forth, as well as a good hit test that was created for it, a hit test grid series that does really fast hit tests. There's the Zen Site, so let me just F11 that, and you can kind of see this a bit better, I think. So imagine you had a mobile device. You can throw this around, so it's a sliding site, and you see it's got that snap, so we introduced that into ZIM Drag. And you can also say click here, and then it will animate you up to a bio section, or if we click here, it will animate you over this way, and all these link through. So that is the Zen Site. Clicking back, done in ZIM, there's a holiday parallax site where you use the scroll bar in this case, and as you scroll, the eyeball comes out and it says presents, and enroll a few, what are they? Oh, they're presents, and here we are wrapping the presents, and once we wrap them, we can deliver them, and they go into the shrink ray, and whoop, and then we hit send, and they go off to the Facebook or Twitter or wherever, and we continue to scroll, and it features Dan, Zen, and ZIM Parallax, and pop on back up to the top. Ooh, so do you like that? The old Parallax through the scroll bar. Etc., etc. Puzzle on the Nora and more examples in the ZIM examples site. Underneath the example site is a link to the old site that was called ZIM Duo, and that featured 2 ways that we could pass in parameters, the normal way, and then another one where you pass in a single parameter that's called a configuration object. And so I'll take you through a ZIM capture on how to use that in the future. But that's the old site where ZIM was a round logo. ZIM Sockets is multi-user and uses socket I/O in a special way and allows you to do multi-user, for instance, collective coloring or avatars, chats, that kind of stuff. Information about Dan Zen, that is me, and if we open that up, it's even more information. And then finally, oh, there's a GitHub link as well. This is hosted on GitHub. Finally, the Karmacha link, which is to donate to Dan Zen or donate to ZIM. ZIM will hopefully save you much time, many hours, and you're welcome to donate. That just piggybacks on, what's it called, PayPal there. So you're welcome to share. That would be wonderful. So that's the first ZIM capture. I'm inventor Dan Zen. Have a great day. In the near future, we will do the news column and the learn column. Okay, ciao.